Welcome into That Wrestling Show, special episode of That Wrestling Show. I am Mike Wendt.
I'm Stryker.
And with us today, Matt Taven of Ring of Honor. Matt, thanks for joining us.
That would make me Matt Taven.
That would make you the Matt Taven.
Well, thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming.
Ring of Honor Best in the World pay-per-view is next Friday, actually.
Yes.
23rd in Lowell, 9 p.m. Tickets are available. Go to ROHWrestling.com. Please get those tickets because it's going to be a hell of a show. Plus a TV taping the following day.
Yeah.
You guys are killing it.
I mean, the first night pay-per-view, I think actually could be close to sold out, if not already sold out.
So get them tickets.
Yeah, exactly. But the second night, the TV taping, a stacked card.
Best of the best.
Yeah, I mean, you have everyone from Best in the World going to be there. So if you can't make it to Friday, make it to Saturday.
Definitely.
And I think you should just go to both.
And exactly. You got to go to both. And the ROH shows are always fun because you guys do like autograph signings beforehand, meet and greets. It's very a personal experience with the fans.
Oh, definitely. And if you've ever been in the Memorial Auditorium, that building's like right on top of you. Yeah.
Yep.
So like you're in it. You're in the thick of things. And last time we were on pay-per-view there, unfortunately, I was still injured at the time, but just kind of snuck out and was part of the crowd for a little bit. What an incredible atmosphere.
And it's good because last time I talked to you on the radio, you were still nursing your injury.
Yeah.
It's good to have you back. How's the knee?
It's good. It's good. It's functioning. So that's all I can ask for right now.
It's good to have air in the tires.
Yeah, exactly. Every once in a while you have to refill the tires a little bit, and sometimes you get a little bit low, but every day it works on getting better and better.
As long as they're spinning, that's the important part.
Exactly. As long as I can walk, which is an upgrade.
And you and Vinny have a match this weekend against CMLL's Ultimo Guerrero and El Terrible.
El Terrible, but yes, terrible. Terrible.
I'm phonetically spelling.
Gotta throw a little stank on it.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta roll those R's.
Terrible. All right.
Yes.
Tell me about your opponents.
Well, I mean, Ultimo Guerrero, if you know Mexican wrestling at all, you know Ultimo Guerrero is a living legend. I mean, down there, he is looked at as a god amongst men. I had the opportunity to wrestle him in Arena, Mexico. One of the most incredible experiences of my life. One of the most hard-hitting matches I've ever been in my life. I mean, if anyone knows anything about Mexican wrestling, the rings are actually made after boxing rings, so they're a little,
snug
compared to the American rings. And Ultimo Guerrero's offense also is pretty powerful as well. And I got caught in a power bomb off the top rope that I don't think I'll ever forget. And kind of made me feel like my soul left my body for a little bit, but. He's one hell of a competitor, and I've wrestled him so many times down in Mexico, from singles to six-mans, and every time it brings out the best in me. So I'm really looking forward to wrestling him in front of my home crowd. This time I got my buddy Vinny by my side, who's literally been hand in hand with me since I started training. El Terrible, I've wrestled in a bunch of six-mans down in Mexico as well, and he's no joke either. So it's like, man, you guys couldn't have brought any tougher opponents for us to wrestle.
So you're saying it's going to be a good match?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a good match because I don't want to lose in front of my hometown.
Exactly.
So I mean, these guys are going to have to kill me. But on the other hand, these guys want to kill me. So it's like,
so it's a good give and take.
Yeah, I know I'm going to be in for it Friday night, but I'm really looking forward to it.
And let's talk about the six-man for a second, because when you came back, and you brought back, you rebranded the Kingdom. Reformed?
Yes.
Built it in your image, as they say.
Yes. There you go. You watch it.
I do. And you came in and you were the inaugural six-man tag team champions of the world.
Yeah.
That's got to be something. Being the first of anything,
of course,
is really special.
Of course. And I had been fortunate enough to have a great partner in the past that we captured the IWGP tag titles, the Ring of Honor tag titles. I was the former television champion, so when this kind of came to fruition, it was like, I want to make sure I check off all the boxes in Ring of Honor, and also to be the first one that ever does something. You can always look at the history books and kind of almost skip past names, but you'll never skip that first one.
Can't beat being the first.
I was lucky enough to make sure I had my buddies by my side, and after the first round, which I thought was our toughest components or opponents in the Bullet Club, Adam Cole and the Young Bucks. After we got past them, I was pretty confident that we would be the first ever six-man tag champions. And I would say so. We would still be till this day if TK didn't unfortunately break his leg.
Well, you can't really blame that.
Yeah, I mean, I only lost the tag titles because I blew up my ACL. We only lost the 6-man belts. You know, if I was healthy this whole time, I'd be
a
like
multi-champion.
Yeah, I'd be like Ultimo Dragon style. You know, with all the belts.
In order to beat Matt Taven, they have to cripple Matt Taven.
Yeah, exactly. You have to literally like lop off a limb of either me and my partners. So.
I mean, that's a pretty good gimmick.
I hope actually hope no one follows that strategy. If anyone,
please don't take him literally.
Somebody just does a Nancy Kerrigan to
Yeah, exactly.
Libre is going to be coming out with an axe.
Yeah. Oh my God, I've been through enough.
Now, with Vinny, I mean, you guys have been together for basically forever.
Yeah.
You both trained with Spike, right?
Yes, exactly. We both started off at the lockup school in Fall River, Massachusetts with Spike Dudley. He was running the school at the time, and you know, me and Vinny just kind of hit it off, similar ages, similar interests, and we kind of took different paths from time to time. But Vinny had been knocking on the door for Ring of Honor, and when I knew I wanted to come back, and I was coming back, I'd re-signed my contract with Ring of Honor. I wanted to come back with guys that I could trust.
Sure.
And obviously, you know, someone that you've been running with since day one.
Absolutely.
You can't trust any more than that. And you know, Vinny's a character. If
say the least.
Yeah, you know, I mean, all you have to do is look at, you know, his Instagram or Twitter to see the kind of kookiness that Vinny's always into. So to have a guy like that always kind of keeps you on your toes as well, it's entertaining for me. So,
I love it because as a horror movie fan, if we had him here, that's all we talk about the whole day.
No, exactly. And I'm a big horror movie fan as well, so like Vinny almost, he loves to always ask me, oh, what movie's that from? I'm like, that stuff's an obscure,
he's trying
like,
to stump you.
gore. Oh, yeah.
Some sort of French from
exactly.
the 40s horror movie.
We'll like see like some chair. He's like, you know, what movie that chair's in. I'm like, how would I know that, Vinny? How would I know?
How much time do you have in your hands?
Yeah, exactly. Right? You go to his head and like, I love Vinny. He's got a beautiful 2-year-old daughter and stuff, and his wife is the best. But you go over to his house, and you know, you think you're at like Ripley's Believe It or Not, because it's like framed
memorabilia,
memorabilia of like different horror movie stuff, and you know, I love the kid, and he's fantastic.
That's awesome. And I mean, as you said, you've won titles around the world, been around the world twice, as they say.
A couple times, yeah.
What would you say? What would be your favorite country to wrestle in? First of all, besides being at home.
You know, it's tough because I was asked this question before, and it's such a toss-up. You know, you being at home, you almost take it for granted and stuff. So I always look at, you know, other things, and you know, English crowds are great. There's two kind of distinct memories to me, though, that always stand out when I think of this question. Winning the IWGP titles in a sold-out sumo hall was unreal. You know what I mean? You're in Japan. You're in Tokyo, which is one of the craziest cities I've ever been in. But like, sumo hall is such a different atmosphere because they literally don't have seats. They all sit kind of Indian style on these little platforms. So it's 12,000 people all sitting Indian style. Yeah, just like patiently sitting. So like when they get riled up, it's like a pretty big deal. And after we won the belts and kind of throwing those belts up and looking at the crowd and stuff, and like, you know, seeing them get out of their Indian style positions, and like, it was so crazy to be like, you know. I've been a wrestling fan my whole life. Sure. So I've watched guys that I grew up idolizing be in this building, in this spot, and like now I'm seeing it through my own eyes. It's pretty humbling. It's outrageous. Yeah. So at the same token, Arena Mexico is always kind of, I've looked at that as the same exact thing, because you know the Malenkos and the Jerichos and the Benoits and Guerreros, it's like those guys I grew up watching, and I used to, you know, follow how they would go around the world, and I was like, one day I want to do all that stuff. And coming down, main eventing as a foreigner, being in a singles main event in Arena Mexico is kind of like, I almost had to afterwards be like, well, I did that, you know. And when I wrestled Ultimo Guerrero in Arena Mexico, I'd never, you know, been there for this before. I'd heard of it, but you know, and when a match kind of exceeds expectations for a crowd, they'll throw pesos in the ring, and you know, Mexican pesos are coins. Yeah. You know, they'll throw hand dollars like forward, but for the most part, they're throwing coins in the ring. So I'm lying in the ring, and all of a sudden, wham! I got hit in the side of the head, and boom! I'm like, oh my God, what is happening?
Are you throwing it as a good thing?
Yeah, I'm starting, and they're all cheering still, and I'm like, this is confusing. And Marco Corleone, who was second to me at the time, slid in the ring. He's like, "Oh, they love the match. They're throwing money in the ring." He's like, "But you got to cover up. Those things hurt." I was like, "You could have told me this before because I just got pelted in the back of the head." But man, that was crazy to walk in the back and have like just all this money that they
handfuls of coins.
Well, yeah, like they scoop it up for you afterwards, and they come back and they're like, "This is for you," and I'm like, "That's
interesting,
fantastic. Sure, I'll take it."
So would you say that that's the most interesting foreign custom in a wrestling ring? Because I always like watching wrestling on TV.
Yeah.
You know, the ROH audience, very loud, chanting, moving along, being a part of the show. Japanese audience, silent. You know, so is the pesos being thrown the weirdest thing, or is there something else?
The pesos being thrown is up there. Also, like in Guadalajara, Mexico, it's like if you're not there on a Tuesday night, it's like you're missing the biggest show in town. You know what I mean? Okay. It's like, you know, the Bruins or Red Sox or whatever are in town. It's like everyone goes there. Right. So it's like when CMLL goes to Guadalajara, it's the same way. So up on the top, there's chicken wire all on the top because in case people throw stuff.
The old Blues Brothers thing.
Yeah, exactly. Which is fantastic. Roll Tide. So like up on top on one side is literally like a hooligan-style soccer like band with the drum, and they're all doing these cheers and stuff. So you'll just be wrestling and in a headlock, and all of a sudden a full song will break out, and you're like, "What is happening?" That in the
middle of the match.
In the middle of the match, yeah, they'll just start banging on the drum, and everyone will know what's going on. Everyone starts singing, and that was pretty intense. And they also start singing like that in England out of nowhere. They'll just start doing their own little song, and you're like, "Huh. Well, I guess I'll just let them sing right now."
Is it kind of like, I mean, they see the American crowd trying to get themselves over? Is that their thing?
Yeah.
You know, we are awesome chants.
But like, I appreciate those ones because it almost kind of like the music and stuff kind of gets you into it, and then
you're wrestling with a soundtrack.
Yeah, exactly. And then they'll stop when something happens, but they don't sit there and they're like, "Boring, you suck," Which is, I blew my knee and I had someone scream.
The last time we talked on the radio, exactly. we bonded over our hatred of those types of fans. Yep. Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm with you on that one. As far as the card at Best in the World, outside of your match, what are you looking forward to watching? Like you said, you're a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Which match are you looking forward to seeing?
I mean, there's a bunch.
Because you got people, I mean, like Bully Ray coming in.
Yeah.
How awesome is that?
And there's...
Not that, I mean, he beat you from the thing, but...
He didn't beat us. Sorry. TK was hurt.
He crippled the guy.
TK was hurt. Silas stepped... It's a long story.
I got it.
But well, that is something that I definitely have... on my viewing chart is yes, exactly, because it's not that TK will be out forever. He has a broken leg. His legs heal. We'll be back.
When he gets air back in his tire?
Yeah, exactly. We'll be back.
Pumping a ton of milk.
Yeah, exactly. We're getting all those GMOs in them, trying to make sure that leg heals. But obviously, Bully Ray and the Briscoes against the boys in Dalton Castle. The boys in Dalton Castle always been a thorn in our side as well, so very interested in that match. Also, the Young Bucks against War Machine, that's just going to be a good match.
Right.
I mean, but at the same time, with TK on the shelf, me and Vinny, we'd love another shot at those tag titles.
Why not?
I'm a former tag champion myself, and obviously those two teams know each other very well, so they'll tear the house down. But, the one belt that's always eluded me in Ring of Honor is that world title. And the American Nightmare, the almighty Christopher Daniels, I'm very interested to see who walks away with that because I wanted a shot at that as well. So whether it be Cody, whether it be Chris.
Just Cody.
Yeah. He doesn't have a last name.
Whether it's Cody,
right.
or Christopher Daniels, I'm knocking at that door, so I'll be watching all three of those matches very closely.
That's awesome. And performing in front of your hometown crowd, I mean, that's got to be awesome. You got family coming in?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll have friends and family. They usually always come in for Lowell. Mm-hmm. It's always funny for me because I'll still get a mixed reaction no matter where I go. So for my friends, they're like, they don't really, or I love more than anything is like I have a lot of cousins that live in New York. So when we go to New York, they're like, everyone hates you, huh? I'm like, yeah, you're goddamn right they do.
Exactly. But, that's kind of the thing, man.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's great. Literally, I I grew up right over the New Hampshire border. I, went to school in Rhode Island. I've lived in Boston for the last almost decade now. So it's like, New England's my home.
Yeah.
Anytime we can be back here, it's something I look forward to. And
circle on the calendar.
Of course. And it's like to sleep in your own bed and to just drive up and not have to fly and do all that stuff. It's like you're just in a good mood anyway, because you don't have to go through all the headache of normal travel. But I love wrestling in Massachusetts. I mean, I wrestled on the independents for years. If it wasn't for the crowds here in New England, I wouldn't be. I would have never gone anywhere other places. Area. Oh, without a doubt. Just look at all the companies that are in the area, and all the talent that has come out of the New England area alone. It speaks for itself. From every member of the Kingdom, Bennett, myself, TK, Vinny, to Hanson and Dijak, and I mean the list goes on and on and on. And it's always kind of funny because. When we do travel and when we are all over the place, there are more wrestlers in Logan Airport. It's like Logan or like Tampa, Florida. Like if you're in one of those airports, you're gonna see just a slew of wrestlers, and it's because there's just so much good talent. There's great schools up here, and there's just so many good guys that have come out of the area that the fans here they know their stuff and they appreciate it.
And one of those schools you're running yourself.
Yeah. Last year, me and Mike Bennett, we opened the XWA Wrestling Kingdom in West Warwick, Rhode Island, 3 Brettle Ave. But the school is great. We have a huge class of guys. For us, we were always kind of like that group of guys from Bennett and Vinny and myself that came from the top rope school. We always looked out for one another afterwards, and we're always trying to help one another. And like now we have like a whole nother group of guys that we're just telling our stories of things that we've done. And for us, we get to get in the ring and stay fresh and stay sharp. And it's great for me coming back from injury, but it took me a second before I realized like kind of what we're like, what I meant to these kids as people for me, because there was Spike and Ryan Waters that helped me, and so many people along the way, and like now they're shooting me texts and asking like the little questions that I would ask that looking back on it are so ridiculous. They're like, don't worry about that, man, like just do this, just show up on time, It's really cool to see that come full circle.
That's awesome.
But we have a great thing going, and if anyone's interested, feel free to stop by.
Absolutely,
we'll check it out.
We'll put the website right about there. There you go. Perfect. When you do get home after traveling around, what do you look forward to like downtime? How do you relax?
See, I'm like I'm kind of an odd duck when it comes to people get off the road and they're like, I want to stop. I want to like get home and kind of relax for a little bit. And I'm like, I can't really sit still. Like, where's the oddest place I can go right now?
I got the ADD too.
Yeah, exactly. Undiagnosed.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
So like for me, and this is such a macabre thing of me, but like I would always be like, hey Vinny, you want to go to see the Conjuring house today and like do stuff like that? Or I'm a big beach bum, I'll always be there in the summertime. But like we'll literally Obscure Atlas, which is a website that I am in love with because it has like all the weirdest places in every area that you're at. So like we're big.
Have you gone to American Stonehenge?
Of course, it's right down the street from where I grew up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I found out that was a thing, and I was just like, I need to go check this thing out.
It's so ridiculous.
It is so absurd.
It's so ridiculous.
It is so absurd. It's basically just a giant stone tablet that I'm pretty sure they sacrifice people on.
Yeah.
Is basically what it is.
Well, it was like, and so I literally grew up in Derry, New Hampshire, which is right, that's like in Salem. And so the backyards everywhere are stone walls. So it really looked like someone came across a stone wall that maybe people started using as like a slab, and then they were like, well, this had to be something, right? Slap a sign in front. It's the American Stonehenge. But yeah, all that kind of odd stuff. I mean, if you ever see any of our Instagram, we're always like searching out places to take like group photos and stuff. And I just, I've been so lucky to see so many cool things that like, and like time goes by so quick that it's like, man, I've been wrestling for 9 years. Like, oh my goodness, where did that go? That now I've gotten in that mood where it's like, I got to keep seeing stuff. I got to keep doing stuff. I got to keep on my toes. So.
And you take the time when you're in different cities to just kind of like, give yourself a minute or two.
Yeah, well, I mean, when we you know, a lot of times when I first started wrestling, and I kind of didn't. You're so caught up in being like, I'm new, I got to make sure everything's perfect and stuff. It would be like, you fly in, you go to the hotel, you go to the building, you go to the hotel, you fly out. And then I'd come home and be like, oh, we were in Chicago this weekend, and people would be like, oh, did you see XYZ? And I'm like,
get a deep dish.
Yeah. And I'm like, no. So, you know, after like the first year, when I kind of, all right, I'm here. You know what I mean? I kind of was like, every city we go to, we got to check out something cool.
Right.
So literally, we were just in Chicago this past weekend, and we tried to go up to the top of the Willis Tower, but the wait was like 2 hours or something. So we did like, you know, the Bean and the park and all that stuff.
It's good though.
You know, we're so lucky to do what we do. I want to take advantage of it as much as possible.
Yeah, exactly. You know. So coming up, of course, like we said, this coming Friday at the 23rd in Lowell Memorial Auditorium, Ring of Honor Best in the World pay-per-view. Definitely check it out check out the pay-per-view, get tickets if they're still available. Go to rohwrestling.com, and the TV taping the following night, the 24th. Tickets are available for that. It's a great show. Ring of Honor is always a fantastic night out.
Yeah, and just announced for the Saturday night TV taping, me and Ultimo Guerrero go one-on-one. I get my rematch from Mexico.
We just get an exclusive?
Yeah, awesome. You heard it here first. It's happening.
Perfect.
Nice.
Matt, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah. No, thank you guys for having me.
Really appreciate it.
No, thank you guys.
And of course, that wrestling show, we will be there in Lowell, and don't miss next week where we actually talk with Bully Ray.